sitting here with a 2017 Audi A3 2-liter turbo Quattro. This is the adult Volkswagen GLI that you can get from Audi. It has the GLI motor. It has the standard GTI brakes. I don't think these are the performance package brakes. I mean, the front end looks really nice. This is the S-Line model, so it does have the appearance package, the LED headlights. This is the Premium Plus package, so it also has the digital dash. We'll look at that in a second. Performance rear valence here, kind of like an S3 look. The exhaust tips are a little dirty there. It looks like the chrome might be peeling a tad. But this car actually has 127,000 miles. So it's a 2017 with 127,000 miles. That means they drove it a lot. It means it wasn't down very much. But it's pretty clean. It's got what appears to be a sports suspension because it does not have the sports steering wheel or the sports seats, which is an additional option. So either he changed the springs to lower the car a little bit, but maybe not, because it has some reverse rake, although they'll have just some stuff in the garage, in the trunk there. It does have a bit of a reverse rake, and but it's otherwise very clean for a 2017. Whoever owned this car put slotted and drilled rotors around, which feel good, but they must be ceramic brakes because they take a second to warm up. And looking inside, you know, you have Bang & Olufsen sound system, which I haven't really put to the test yet, but it does have a little LED strip here and in the side here, so at night you get a little bit of a glow. And then that's the digital dash there. It's pretty nice. 127,987 miles. The DSG. So, taking a look under the hood of my 2017 Audi A3 2.0 turbo Quattro with the GTI engine, base GTI engine, I believe, not the performance pack. Looks like the PCV valve might be original. Oh no, it's not, because it's the, well, is it? Hanks is the original PCV manufacturer, maybe? If that's the case, that would make sense, because I am getting a little bit of a idle situation. And welcome to Pittsburgh. We're going up this hill. Oh, good thing I waited a second. Drive around in Pittsburgh where you're only getting about averaging 20 miles per hour. Here you're getting, you know, I was getting about 22. I'm starting to hit the highway a little bit now, so it's starting to creep up. But if you compare this to, we just hit 23, in the long term, this car can do much better. So once I'm able to keep that average mile per hour up at around 39, look at that, 32.2. We're gonna drive this back on the Pennsylvania Turnpike and see. I'll reset this before we get on the Turnpike to see what kind of highway mileage we get at Turnpike speeds, which are 70 miles per hour on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. For it being a GTI engine, it's pretty efficient, and it has the haldex all-wheel drive. So I'm assuming it's mainly front-wheel drive, and then it kicks in that rear, which is fine. It's fine. It works well. Yeah, I don't spin tires anywhere. I haven't spun tires anywhere, I should say. Maybe with some more power, but right now, no, it's just fine. Not sure why no one ever gets the paddle shifters. Could have had the cool flat bottom steering wheel with the paddle shifters, but you look at that, 40.1, 41.5, 42. We're climbing as we cruise at 75 miles an hour. There's a little bit of wind noise in here. You might hear that. There is a little bit of drivetrain noise as you drive. These are brand new tires, but they're Summit tires. They're high performance tires. They're not necessarily the quietest tires. That might be part of it. There's a bit of a potentially worn suspension component somewhere. Obviously it's fake because I reset it as we were already at 70 basically, versus, you know, having to accelerate. But that means at cruise capacity we can get some pretty good mileage out of this. As I accelerate, it drops instantly. 45, 44, 42. Let's see, 44, it stayed. All right, rest stop. So far I'm averaging 36.2 miles per gallon in the last 3 hours and 40 minutes at 69 miles an hour. Covered 253 miles in that distance, which is slightly better than the long-term. I did raise that long-term memory from what it was, 39 to 41. I'm going to venture to think that whoever owned this car may or may not have done spark plugs. I believe they may have done spark plugs because it does pull hard. If they did, they may have done them at 60. They may, if they were done. If not, they're still due. Clean that up a little bit. You can see me a little bit. Alright, so it's one of those days. Get up early. Okay, so here's the situation. I decided I was gonna buy wheel bearings and ball joints because I just knew that wheel bearing and ball joints were bad. And I didn't pick up the wheel and take a look, really. And now that I pick up the wheel, I think the tie rods are also bad. And I'll show you why. So first of all, get the car up here. Regular brake noise. But it's actually no movement here. But here, plenty. So that's not great. Bearings are good. And the tie rods are bad. So I ordered the wrong parts. So that sucks. So, I forgot to record this, but it appears this suffers from the same thing the Atlas suffers from, and that's a bad steering rack. There's a little bit of noise with the car loaded like this. So maybe something is bad. But with the car loaded up here, there's no play in the steering rack. I mean, there's no play in the tie rod end here. At all. It feels good. The only thing that actually has play I think I found the noise. think maybe the top hat is bad. It seems to be moving at the shock top. I didn't order that either, so forget it.